The theme, speaking with confidence and excellence. The question, should America provide universal health care for all of its citizens? The pros and cons. Our orator, Ajzsa Moore.
Regardless of income, all Americans should be guaranteed basic medical care under a national health insurance program. I believe, regardless of income, all Americans should be granted basic health insurance because the government spends billions, almost trillions overseas. This nation has the second highest mortality rate, the majority is poor, and it's the natural human right. Although some may say this nation can afford a national health insurance program, however, Americans are constantly paying taxes to their own nation, while immigrants are continuously becoming non-taxpayers. Therefore, I absolutely know this country cannot be in deficit as much as they proclaim it to be. To begin with, basic medical care should be granted to all Americans, regardless of income, because billions of our money is sent overseas. Many may believe that it is for the reasons of oil, the betterment of our own country, and the betterment of other countries, but our country was founded on Christian principles, which in reference of Matthew chapter 7, verses 3, and why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thy own eye? Meaning, check and correct yourself first before you go checking and correcting someone else. This nation swiftly sends our money overseas to those sick and impoverished third world nations, but is negligent to its own nation, as if sick and impoverished doesn't exist here too. Perhaps America should gather all its sick and impoverished to ship them overseas along with our money, so they too will be helped by America. Maybe our founding fathers based this country on the popular saying, God blesses the child that has his own, blessing only the rich and cursing the poor. Perhaps too, America needs to redefine freedom and opportunity so they can attract the people they want and are looking forward to serving. Secondly, healthcare should be granted to the people regardless of income, because this nation has the second highest mortality rate. Aside from Africa, who is number one due to the many diseases such as AIDS, even though some may say mortality rate has nothing to do with healthcare, but doctors and physicians wouldn't be so fast to turn away, reject, or even ignore human beings' health issues if this country has some kind of support for its people, which the people make this country what it is today. For example, from the beginning, the land of America has been indulging in hatred acts of war with all nations, especially Africa. These great people who put their lives on the line for this country to hold the platform and position it holds today, which the people of today are deeply connected to through ancestors. Great America, one nation under God, for the people, which whom allows us to spend all of what we earn after the government gets its portion called taxes, then tells us what bills to pay plus taxes, which includes housing and food plus taxes, and we can't forget about medical care plus taxes, which we don't have enough left over because we are literally taxed to death. America, the great nation, gives us the freedom to die. Without consideration, this is how America shows its appreciation of its own submissive people. All other developed nations have no charge of health care for their people, so why don't we? We can't even get a checkup for free. Another reason health care is a necessity to all Americans, regardless of income, is because the majority is poor and cannot afford it. With all the charges this nation gives other people for all the things we don't necessarily want or need, drains us of the little money we do have. If this country is so free, then why is it hard for the majority to become financially free? Do you think it's fate and not pre-planned that the majority is struggling and living from paycheck to paycheck? Do our government not have control over the things that goes on in America's lives? If the government has no control over these things, then what is the real purpose of the government? Is it not to help govern the people which govern themselves? If so, then why in the 2000 presidential election, when the people clearly ruled for Al Gore, but the government overpowered the people with whom they wanted, Mr. George W. Bush? Now look at us. A country full of debt is what they proclaim. Well, don't blame it on us now by laying off the people, hiring the taxes, and taking away our services. This country is not in deficit because of the people. The people do their job paying taxes better than the country does its in serving America. Taxes are for the betterment of our own country. What's the point of paying taxes if the more the people give, the more the government takes away? The government has mismanaged our money, and according to this, the people that should be getting laid off, higher taxes, and services taken away is the government. This nation puts its own people deeper and deeper into a hole, forcing them to make moral sacrifices, such as, am I going to pay this healthcare bill so I can live, or am I going to put food in the refrigerator so I can live? It's all a contradiction. But statistics clearly show Social Security payout is $955 per month and $11,460 annually, which is poverty. On top of that, due to the largest stock market crash predicted in 2012 because of the baby boom retirement plans, many corporations are breaking their promises to the workers, which is supposed to be a part of the American dream. While some may say, well, it's just a part of life, only the strongest survive, but even those with degrees who has furthered their education, and also people who have worked in this country all of their life, some of the mentally and physically strongest can't even afford it. Prior to that, some of these strongest are yet a paycheck or two away from poverty themselves. The most strongest are amongst the most richest, and not a paycheck or two, but a pen signature away from poverty. And the poor pay higher taxes than the rich. Therefore, a national health insurance program, regardless of the income, would truly be for the common good of all people, which, by the way, this country is supposed to work for the people, not the people work for the country. Finally, human health is a natural human right, for it is God's will that if there is one who is sick and impoverished amongst another he gave the gift to heal to, the sick shall be healed. Even though many people may think America needs extra money for such an extravagant program, but another reference from our Christian principles, Acts chapter 6, verses 2, for it is not reason that we should leave the word of God and serve tables, meaning there is no reason we should neglect the word of God because of business or any businesses. For God's will comes first, and only him do we serve. Does America really think it's necessary to charge the people for such a natural human right such as life? Or could the prosperous America be prosperous because of their greed? If so, perhaps they should take another look at our Christian principles, Timothy chapter 6, verses 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. According to this, could America be the root of all evil, choosing money over its people? Would you doubt the word of God? On top of that, it will only be 10% out of the money we send overseas for useless emotions of hate and anger to blow those innocent people away. And yet, they think God will bless America. But only love can conquer hate, and God is love. So what God does America serve? Prior to that, this nation literally burns billions, probably now trillions, each year, just so they can have only a limited amount of money to make the people think that they really need their money for the survival of the country, when really it's for their own capitalism, survival of the government. Familiar with the popular saying, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, therefore attempting to demolish middle-class people, if middle class still exists. So as you can see, America needs to put its priorities in perspective. Maybe our leaders need to do a little more researching for themselves, because this nation has been negligent to people's need for quite a while now. Is it going to take another outstanding deliberate mistake for the people to stand up for something and cease falling for everything? And in this case, we all know there's a cause and effect to each and every situation. Right now, we're gathered here on account of an effect, and it is our responsibility as the people which govern ourselves to elicit consciousness of the cause of this effect.